Fire on the mountain, they said. Who's going? We left our square dance, our summer girls. How large the night grew when we stood on the clubhouse porch, a gusty wind rustling the leaves into waves that beat on the shore of the golf course. We could have wept for the greatness that sharp stars, the hunger of fire, had thrust upon us. As we hunched in the truck under whipping low branches, each of us thought of our ladies waiting and waiting long after the noble ship had gone down. We stumbled for hours high over the lake, but never found our fire until morning. But then it was out. Descending, I met my father rising. I was his only son. Why shouldn't he nod serenely once he knew I was safe? But fury seized me. How dare he invade my burning city, my chance at sword in the heat of battle? I strode away and only years later turned my head to search for the fire where again and again he rises, thrusting his love towards me. The figure a son is pushing away from, a city in flames behind him. But anyone knows how the hero should lift such a man on his back. That is Heroics by T. Allen Burroughton. And so, speaking of heroics, we give ourselves over to the story of Micah here. A apparently young half-elf of noble heritage, known as the Marquis Shadowsteel. He is watching as an invading group burns and ransacks his family's lands. He and his sister, though, in a kind of youthful excitement for battle, chance to prove themselves, go into the fray themselves. Trained in the art of cyber knights, they clearly do not completely follow the code yet, but they're able to use those powers, and they're able to summon swords, in which they and a couple of their father's troops make a kind of like a quick attack against a small squad of brutish, red-skinned, but apparently technologically adept demons. They're not a race, they're not a species, right? They are just demons. And as these Broadkill continue their assault, our young heroes dive into the fray, having a real hard time fighting against such a, kind of not even overpowered, but just well-equipped Broadkill leader who fought them to a standstill effectively. The rest of their troops started getting shot down, returning some gunfire, and bringing a couple of Broadkill down, but not fast enough. They start changing tactics just as we watch another group of Broadkill going off into the distance, stepping into houses, burning people alive. We decided to find out a little bit more of who this Micah Rice is, as he leaves his sister and his family's troops behind to go and pursue these new villains that he sees in the distance. And so, we return now. Micah, suffering from one wound already, foolishly decides he's going to go run into the fray himself, and we start off. I'm going to bump the chaos factor up to a 6. And so, let's test the expected scene, which to me is, does Micah run all the way over there to fight these creatures? That is a 1, so chaos factor. Odds are they're not interrupt, they're altered. So let's alter the scene, shall we? Let's go over to... Let's give it a little bit of meaning and try to figure out what alters. Alright. Alright, 74. Refuse. 54. Refuse military. Some of the troops behind Micah start shouting, "My lord, don't go any further. We'll catch up. Just wait. We can take these if you stay." But by now, Micah has already begun to sprint off. So he is refusing any additional help. Maybe just in kind of foolhardiness of youth, maybe in kind of this sense of obligation to his kingdom. But he runs forward. Let's see here. I'm going to give him a battle roll real quick. And a 2 and a 6. 6 rolls up. 10 total. He begins to approach. He stops, crouches down. The troops of Broadkill. Let's roll a d10 and see how many there are. All right. 3 of these creatures. They just begin to stalk forward. From where Micah is, he gets a quick glance. I'm going to give him a stealth check to see if he can remain. They're hidden. D4 both blow up though. So it's a 6 and a 4. Both roll 2s, so that's an 8. So with a raise, he manages to sneak up. They're not entirely aware that he's there, but even as he tries to staunch some of the bleeding, he watches. His hand comes forward, and he does have some psionic powers, actually. So I'm going to give him... Yeah, he has healing, so that's 3 ISP. He's down. He'll be down to 5 with this. So let's go ahead and give him a psionics roll as he hides. I'm going to say that this allows him to get at least 1. Alright, good thing that wild die blows up. Alright, 7. He kind of stops. He pulls back his tunic and places a hand over this gaping wound just along his stomach. And he takes a deep breath and goes, alright, Micah. And suddenly, oh, that hurts. He feels a powerful, like, churning in his stomach. Almost a little bit of sickness, but as he looks down, he's just wiping some partially congealed blood away from fresh skin underneath. The armor that had covered it, this organic metal, slowly begins to knit itself back up and over the skin. He knows it won't be perfect until he can take a little bit of a rest, but it will keep him alive. So, as he watches, let's give a battle roll, or not a battle roll, but a combat action roll over to the Broadkill. Let's see what they are doing. You know, I'm going to get those little tabby things so I can actually watch and I can tag where all the various pieces are, because I keep searching for all the different tables and sometimes it's a little frustrating. I know they're in here. Alright, so 5 ally, 39 enthusiastic, or ally enthusiastic. Okay, I have a general idea here. Ally enthusiastic. 97. Unlikely. 73. Unlikely protect. Let's see. I'll ask a fake question here. Are there more troops, or are there more allies to Micah out here trying to protect some of these people? So it's chaos factor of 6. I'm going to give it an unlikely, which still puts us at 50 and above. That's a 100. So exceptional, no. It's not an ally to Micah. Instead, I'm going to increase the number of Broadkill there are. I'm going to put in one of the Techno Warriors too. This does not bode well for Micah here. So as he stealths up, he watches, and a couple of these heinous creatures just begin to cackle. Another group walks out, and he hears just, "Oh, yes, wish to taste. Let me have some of that." As he realizes that they are slowly consuming somebody's leg. There's a horrific sound, crunching like celery getting torn in half. And we're going to try something here. I'm going to give fate chart. I'm going to say, does Micah run out? Yeah, I'm going to say, does Micah run out and immediately engage him in combat, or does he try to ambush them? So a yes here is Micah rushes out to attack them. That's a 17 with the 50-50. That's not an exceptional yes, but that is a yes. Micah, as he watches, just goes, "Beasts! Beasts! You need to return back from where you came!" And he runs out. And let's go get some awesome music going and deal some fucking cards. Alright, so this one's going to be kind of a difficult fight for Micah. Fortunately, he just healed up. He's got 5 power points left. We will deal him his hesitant. That is a 4 and an ace, so he takes the 4. The Roadkill gets a 4 as well, or the Techno Warrior gets a 4, and then the... Wow, that's the lowest I've ever dealt. But Micah gets the 4 of hearts, which allows him to go first. He's going to try to multi-action penalty, even though this doesn't work too well for him. And he's going to, I'm going to say his smite is still going. Alright. And he's going to try to, yeah. His smite's still going. He's going to try to roll deflection. Multi-action penalty. This is a D6 plus 1 for a psionics roll, but -2, so it's only a -1 to activate deflection. It's a 5 and a 5, so he does manage to... Now it's now a -2 to hit him. But now he goes running up, and with a pace dive 8, or with a pace of 8, he comes running directly up to the Techno Warrior. Comes running up into melee, and he is going to attempt to swing. This is a D8, and he gets his wild die. 3 and a 2, -2 is a 1. I think he needs to take this character down, so he's going to Benny and reroll. There we go, the 8 blows up. 12 total versus a parry of 6. So that's a hit with a raise. Well done, Micah. Okay, so we determined, though, he doesn't hit too terribly hard. 2d6 plus a d8 plus an additional d8 from the raise. All of this adding +4 to the damage. Okay, so that's 6, 12, 18, 19, 20 plus 4, so it's 24. Armor piercing of 6, and his toughness is a 23, so he is, well, nope, he's got 12. Yeah, so it's going to be a hit with 2 wounds. I'm going to spend a GM Benny to allow him to try to soak it. So they have a vigor of a D10. Now this thing's not a wild card, so it's just a straight D10. He rolled a 2, and Micah comes swinging. He watches it, or this creature watches, starts cackling a little bit, thinking that this unarmed human just comes running at him. But before he even really sees what's going on, he suddenly raises and he goes, "Oh, we've got it!" He is bifurcated. Micah comes forward. The blood on the outskirts of the sword just begins to sizzle and pop and dissipate, turning into almost like a holy colored ash. That is his turn. The Techno Warrior now doesn't get a turn because he did. He big did. But the Roadkill see this, and they are going to turn and fire. Rate of fire of 3, shooting roll of a d8. I'm going to throw in a wild die because they're firing as a group. They're taking... Oh, wait. Rate of fire 3 means that they get to... Yep. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so these are -4 to hit. So the 5 and the 6 don't count because they're reduced below 4. But 2 of the 8s blew up. So I'm going to say it's -2. Okay, I need to start tracking these. -2 for the deflection. And this is kind of the fun thing on where they get the name Cyber Knight. But he just to make sure that I'm reading the ability right. Apparently not. Yeah, there it is. Cyberkinetic. It stacks with the deflection power, so it's negative, oops, pardon me, -4 to be hit by a laser rifle. So, yeah, that sounds right. So these are both 4s, which means that they hit, and they both rolled 1s, so they both hit, but they are not with raises. So that's good, as 46 damage starts coming into Micah twice. Alright, no dice blowing up there. That's 9 plus 4 is 13, and Micah's toughness is 15. But with an armor piercing of 2, he is shaken. The second shot, though. 2 of those are blowing up, so I'm going to spend another Benny from Micah here to unshake him. Actually, I'm going to hold off because this may be enough to do damage to him. 12 plus 4 is 16. 21, 27, 31. So that's like 15 points over, more with the armor piercing, so that's going to hit the wound cap, so that is 4. So I'm going to spend a Benny, and I'm going to try to see if Micah can soak that. He's got to soak that, because that's going to be too much for him. So, D6. Soaks 1 wound. I'm going to spend another Benny. This is the last one. Actually, that's not true. I said I was going to give him 1 extra one. We're playing up his hindrance. There we go. 6. Okay, so that's 12. Which is 3 wounds, so I need at least a 4 on this last one. No, he's going to take 1 wound from this. Okay, so he's back to 1 wound, so -1 on this. Alright. And the creatures just begin to cackle as this little scrawny half-elf comes running towards him. The laser beam starts burning into his armor, and he just continues running. The ace or the 5, so he takes the 5. Broadkill get the 6, so they, or the king, so they get to go first. They're going to try that again. Rapid fire, though. Actually, I'm going to try doing a little bit more combat tables to see what actions they take. Here we go. I want to add a little bit more dynamics to this fight. 96. Vehicle. 32. Vehicle defend. Ask a fake question here. Is there like a burned out husk that they try to take cover from? I'm going to say this is 50-50. It's a 12, which means exceptional. Yes, it's big enough that they take full cover behind it. They start popping behind upturned, what looks like a ruined but almost organically grown style tank. So Micah has no clear shot on them, and he's got to get around this thing to even get into combat. But first they start taking some shots before they duck back behind. So here we go. Yeah, so rapid fire 3, rate of fire 3, -4s on all of them, but not a single one of them hit. And so one of the shooting dies and one of the wild die becomes critical failure. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say one of them is distracted. Micah, on his turn, he is shaken. So he's got to make a spirit check, D6. It's got 1 wound, so this is -1. That's a 5, so it's enough. He is unshaken, but he's still taking 1 wound. Yeah, he goes running around the corner. He's going to come up to the one that is distracted, which means distracted is a -2 on any actions. So Micah is going to try to, yeah, he's going to try to split this guy in half. Fighting die, and this wild die. Oh, fighting die blows up. Oops. And that's going right out of the controller. Let's see, so that is 8 plus 5 is 13. The parry of these things is a 6. So that's definitely a hit with the raise. So we've got 2d8 or 2d6 plus a d8 plus a d6. All right, so that's 7 plus 11 is 18. 21 total. They have a toughness of 19. With the armor piercing, though, it's enough. Use the other GM Benny that I have to see if this guy can soak it, but then I'm out of GM Bennies, which is good. I'd rather burn those forward to make the fights a little bit more hairy. Not that I think that, Micah really needs any help. He's kind of getting his ass kicked. But with all that damage coming in, Micah chops this one down. Barely gets a claw up in time before suddenly the fingers go lopped off on a return stroke. Micah ducks down to one knee, slings forward, and suddenly this creature just clutches his belly as his viscera begin to pour out, and he drops into the ground. Micah, in the next round, draws a 10 as his low card, but a king for the other 2 roadkill. Let's roll. They're behind cover here, so they'd have to step out of cover to fire, but they're very close to him, so I'm going to give him a combat action roll. 27. Control and an 8. Control anger. I'm going to give them a spirit check to see. They've got bloodthirsty, so I'm going to give them a spirit check here to see if they rush in stupidly into melee. One of them does. The other one stays back. This one comes running forward. It raises the butt of the gun, trying to smash him in the face. Its claws coming out. Now Micah actually took an edge pretty early on for first strike. So as this creature runs into combat, Micah gets a free action against him too. So we're going to roll those at about the same time here. So it's a fighting of a d8 from the creature, and then a d8 from Micah, and of course Micah gets his wild die. Micah rolls a 5 minus 1, which is a 4, which isn't enough to beat his parry. But the creature, the Broadkill, rolls a 3, which isn't enough either. And as they start trading blows, there's just kind of a, "No, I came for flesh. Yours will do." The other creature, though, doesn't really give a fuck that his buddy's in melee, so he's going to take some shots. And these are -4 to hit. D8, they're not going to get the wild die because they're no longer operating as a group. There's a 2, a 4, and a 7. And the 7 minus 4, of course, is 3, which isn't enough to hit Micah. We'll go now to Micah's turn. He's going to take his next attack. D8. I literally just had it. There it is. 5 and a 3. He swings. The Broadkill is prepared. Catches it with the outside edge of the rifle, and we go to the next round. Micah draws the 3 with his hesitant, but the Broadkill get a king. Let's see here. Combat actions. 20. Carry. 37. Carry, dominate. That makes sense, given their mean hindrance. This one's going to take a wild attack. So he gets a -2 to the attack roll, I think. Yeah. -2 to the attack roll, but +2 to damage. So, this one's fighting D8. So it's a -6 total, but if he does, it's going to hit like a freight train. Oh, he rolled a 1. And he rolled another 1 on a random wild die, which means he is, I'm going to say he is now vulnerable. The other one is going to take his shots, trying his best to not really care about his buddy, figuring that they'll be fine. But it's -4s across the board. The 2 6s fail, but the 8 that blows up becomes a 9. -4 is a 5, so that's a hit. These rifles do 4d6 damage. Okay. 8, 9, 15, Oof. 21. 26. It sucks. 26. The armor piercing of 2. So then this will be 28. And it's 13, so it's 3 wounds. Yeah, he can't take that. Last Benny. Last Benny for you, Micah. But as he does, let's see, his vigor is a d6. It's gotta work. Gotta work. Oh, fuck. Alright. Micah goes down. He hits the ground. As the laser beams go in, the roadkill start stepping over, laughing. Oh, weakling flesh. And, alright. Let's, damn. Fuck. Okay. What do I want to roll here? I don't know. Now I'm a little scared. This guy may get his ass kicked right off the bat. Let's see about a plot twist, and then I'm going to start rolling some. Ugh. All right. 6 business. 66. Persuade business. Okay. All right. Let's see. I have an idea here. Persuade business. Fate chart. I'm going to say it's very unlikely. But do the roadkill, are they here on a business? And would they intentionally not kill Micah for it? So it's a 35. That's a 22. Okay. And that's double, so there's going to be an event here. But one of them comes over. He goes, I think this is one of the whelplings. The other one just starts cackling. Yeah? Well, there's a bounty. We were told to bring one of them. Do you think he'll survive the trip? Oh, maybe. I don't think we'll get paid if he dies, though. Well, then we have to get him out of here. One of them picks him up. There's just a quick, pull. Micah, his psi sword has already disappeared from it going unconscious. I'm going to give him now. It's a -3 wounds. He needs to take a vigor check. Oh! Whew. Yes. Okay. It's 12 plus 4 is 16, minus 3 is a 13, so it's with a raise. He goes completely unconscious. Micah, I'm going to say... So he, yeah, okay. Now let's go over to a handy fate chart. Micah, attempting to pick this fight, loses. Gets knocked down into the dirt, unconscious, barely just beginning to bleed out. He blinks. His eyes kind of go fuzzy. What's wrong? Why is everything so dark right now? And he realizes, of course, his hands are bound behind him. He blinks and one eye is not opening. It's like, what the fuck? Sister! Sister! He realizes now he is in someplace underground. Let's roll. I'm gonna roll just to get one code. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Dungeon descriptions. 77 possessions. 14 closed. Okay, so stripped of armor. His hands bound behind him. He kind of looks up, glances around. As best as he can, no depth perception. He's not sure why. Oh. This is not good. What happened? Oh no. The Broadkill generally don't take prisoners. Why am I here? Why have they kept me alive? And let's see here. What do I want to do? Okay. I'm gonna ask one fate question here. Has it been over an hour since you went unconscious? I'm gonna say it's likely, which is a 75. 35, yeah. So it has been over an hour. His wounds themselves have gone past the golden hour. Kind of all of his powers are gone. He can feel them. He knows he can reach out and touch them, but his wounds, they hurt so bad. The scars. He looks down as best as he can. He sees his stomach. He sees the scores across the middle of it where laser burns have cauterized. You can see that the metal that was covering his body is gone. He goes, okay. I don't know what is happening here. He goes, who's there? Is anybody out there? No, we'd rolled a... Wait, I'd rolled 77 on a fake question, which is not... Yeah. So 77 on the fate question when the chaos factor is only a 6. It's not enough to... It's not the trigger. It's got to be at or below the chaos factor to have a random event. But as Micah just kind of like tries to figure out what's going on, we will end for tonight there. I think that requires the chaos factor to definitely go up a little bit. This is not an ideal situation for our young hero. Fortunately, he didn't die in the second session, though it was real goddamn close. And I kind of, not GM fiated it, but, you know, I think, I don't think that breaks the rules, but I think it skirts them a little bit. But, here's my notepad. So, first things. Our NPC list. There's Amadi out there somewhere. There is the Kingdom of Ripley itself. There are the Broadkill. And I'm going to add a new one here. That the Broadkills, whoever is giving them orders, Broadkill's leaders, on a thread list. Let's write this down. We have defend the kingdom. Defend the kingdom. Let me say complete Cyberknight training from before. It didn't come up, but now escape and find who is doing this. All right, but as Micah is captured, we will pick that up right from there next time. So, with that, good night.